Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, based on the different locations wherever you are joined from. So we are just waiting for a few more participants to join. So we are going to start in 1 minute. Let's get started. So we welcome all of you in today's webinar from ProThoughts about the project management professional and Lean Six Sigma. Which one to go forward and which one will be more appropriate for our career. So I'll start with my introduction. My name is Souvik Chatterjee. By education, I'm a doctorate in the life sciences, and then I have my master's in business administration in the operations, and then I did my project management professional certification. I'm a certified agile certified professional, and I am a Lean Six Sigma black belt as well. So I have around 18 years of experience in the different project management domains. So I started my career as a lecturer, and then from the academics, I shifted to the industry. And my passion is giving training, mentoring, and the different process excellences. So Lean Six Sigma and project management professional are both of my passion. So please make this an interactive session. Please feel free to ask questions during the session. I'll try to provide the responses as much as possible. So few of the disclaimers that this entire thought process and the analysis and whatever the data is presented is completely owned by me. And so this is not from any of the organization or this is not from any of the group like the PMP or the Six Sigma, any of the groups. Okay, so this entire content is based on the different scientific journal, different articles and the market research, whichever is available in the industry. So during this today's webinar, we are going to talk through some introductory slides about the project management professionals as well as the Lean Six Sigma. Then we are going to discuss both in brief about what is the project management professional certification and what is the Lean Sigma certification. Okay, and which one will be what is what. Okay, so we are going to discuss about that. Then we are going to discuss about the Lean Six Sigma, the uh, different type of the improvement opportunities and in which industry we can use this Lean Six Sigma. Then following that, we are going to briefly discuss about the difference between the Lean Six Sigma and the project management professional certification. And at the last topic, we are going to discuss about that which one is right for your career. Okay. So currently the internet bandwidth is not very good. So I have to switch off my video, but I'll to ensure that you guys can hear me well. So to start with the Lean Sigma and project management professional. Okay, so both are the most reputed certification in the management world. The PMP certification offered by the Project Management Institute, which is in the USA, as all of you know, right? And this is considered as the gold standard for aspiring project managers. So in any domain, these concepts in the project management professional are same across the domain. So if you are coming from the IT background or you are coming from the manufacturing background or pharma background, the project management professional, the strategies and how you are going to manage the different projects are the same. And this actually cater to the all the different domains. Okay, on the other hand, the Six Sigma certifications gives you the knowledge of the tools and the techniques to improve the business processes, right? The daily activities which you are doing, how to improve the quality of that, right? So if you are a certified PMP, should you consider getting your Six Sigma certification as well? Or on the other hand, if you are not a PMP, what should you go for? Like PMP versus Six Sigma. So if we start with these two, let us start with the Six Sigma and just understand what and how the Six Sigma has been started. So Six Sigma is an industrial engineering quality methodology, right? Which is based on the different statistical analysis. and obviously the quality control, right? It was developed in 1986, right? And introduced in Motorola, and it was later adopted by the General Electric under Jack Welch. Okay, the Six Sigma methodology focuses on the defects, right, or increasing the customer satisfaction. So reducing the errors, increasing the efficiency, obviously decreasing the cost of the different processes, and produce the better products. So there are different types of the Six Sigma methodologies are there. In the subsequent slide, we are going to discuss about the DMAC method, which is the abbreviation of the define phase, measure phase, analyze phase, improve phase, and the control phase. So what are these meaning of the different phases? I'm going to briefly discuss about that. And there are other type of the Six Sigma methodologies are available as well, right? Like the design for Six Sigma, which is called DFSs. So DMAC and DFSs are the two main type of the Lean Six Sigma methodology, right? So what is the what is the difference between the Lean and Six Sigma? We are going to discuss briefly about that. So Lean is basically reducing the waste, waste, and Six Sigma is mainly to reduce the variation. If you see here, the Six Sigma is mainly reducing the variation part, whereas Lean is actually reducing the waste. So this way, when we say the Lean Six Sigma, this actually combines that reducing the variation, meaning that if you have a standard, so it should not, if you have a standard of that every product will be of say 10 centimeter, right? It should not that some product is of 9.9 and some product is of 10.1. So that is why the variation is reduced. On the other hand, your waste, different type of waste, and in the Lean Sigma concept you might have heard the quality checks, right? So which is also considered as one type of waste, because it should be first time, right? So this is called, these are the principles which have started with the Lean Six Sigma in the industrial application. What is project management? What is PMP? On the other hand, right? So the project management professional certification is a project management designation offered by the Project Management Institute, which is in the Newark, right? In New York in the United States. The PMP certification is often recommended to those who are new to the project management, or has been designed so that the individual with the diverse skills who are managing the different type of the projects, they can manage the time within the budget, and the outcome matches according the original goals, right? So as a project is always have a definite start and the definite end, and it gives an unique endeavor or unique service or unique products to you, right? So that is how the project management drives the operation, while Lean Six Sigma drives the quality, drives the reducing the defect, and reducing the cost of the same process, right? Let us move on to the next slide. See, let me just remove these drawings here. Okay. Okay, so let's start and discuss briefly about the project management professional or the PMP certification. What is a PMP certification? So the PMP certification or the project management professional certification, as you know, is a widely recognized certification for managing all the different aspects of a particular project. And when we say the different type of the project have the same kind of the infrastructure, same kind of the concept, then there are two different kind of distinct project methodologies are there, project management methodologies are there. One is called your predictive approach, or the we call it more frequently that waterfall approach. And another one, as you know, is called agile approach. So there are different type of the agile methods are there, right? So you have your Scrum, you have your DSDM, you have your Kanban method, you have many different types of the agile. So most common agile method is Scrum, right? So if you see how the PMP certification has been designed, it in one hand, this caters the requirement for the different type of the waterfall method in the industry, where you need to follow the more of the predictive model, like your manufacture industry, like your construction industry. On the other hand, this also caters about your agile project management, which is more familiar or more used in the IT industry or the research and development industry nowadays, right? So if you see the exam pattern of the project management professional, PMP certification, which is conducted by PMI. So this has around your 180 questions and 230 minutes exam, right? So this is a very means well recognized in all the countries. If you are planning to go to the abroad, as you know that there are a lot of the requirement in the Australia, in the New Zealand, in different parts of the world, like Europe. And this project management professional certification actually helps you a lot, right? When if you are planning to um, move in the project management professional or in the project management domain. So as you have mentioned, that if you see the predictive model, right? So in the exam, around 50% of the questions will come from the predictive model and waterfall model, and 50% of the questions will come from the agile model. So if you see the main difference between the predictive approach and the hybrid approach, so what is the difference between these two? So as you have seen in the waterfall, right? Waterfall, what it happens is it starts with a starting point of water. It never goes back, right? So here also, if you see the waterfall method or the predictive approach, then you see the requirement are starting here. And this is an unidimensional or one directional flow. So requirement will all the requirements are available here, right? So this will actually give you the design. The design is implemented, then the testing has been done, the deployment has been done, and then the maintenance has been done. So it is a kind of one directional flow, right? But if you see the agile approach, in agile approach, what happens? We have different sprints or iterations, right? So we have 2 to 4 week sprints where we take the user stories. So here the term, the requirement, or here the requirements are generally called the user stories. Like, so in the 2 to 4 weeks of the time box iteration, we try to get some of the user stories from your sprint backlog and then deliver that user stories. And again, we take the new user stories here and complete the user stories here. Again, we take some new user stories here and complete the user stories here. So this actually is very useful for your projects if you are trying to reach out to the professionals very quickly, right? So as for example, if you follow the predictive model to deliver all the requirements, you may need to take say 2 years, right? But here, what will happen that every 4 weeks, every 4 weeks, like 1 month, you can reach out to the customer and deliver certain set of the requirement, right? So this gives you the competitive advantage over this kind of predictive approach, right? So nowadays you will see that many of the organizations are really striving to get and implement the agile approach, and many organizations are following a hybrid approach which combines little bit of the predictive model, little bit of the agile model, right? So if you ask me that what is the which in which project you will use the predictive model and in which project you will follow the agile model, right? So there are different type of the approaches are there. So one of the very famous method is there, which is called the stasis complexity model, right? Which actually states that if your requirements are very well defined, right? As for example, if you are creating a bridge, right? Overbridge. So you know that overbridges have created so many years, so many hundreds of years we have created the overbridges, right? The requirement, the material, how will be the slope, everything is known to us, right? So this kind of project will follow the predictive approach. But if you follow some new project like new product development, new kind of sending the rocket to the Mars, right? Like your Elon Musk is doing, right? So that kind of thing. So you should follow agile approach because you do not need or you do not have all the requirements in the beginning. So as you progress slowly, your requirements will evolve. right? So based on your service industry, based on your type of the project, you can define whether you are going to use the predictive approach or hybrid approach or agile approach. But project management professional is actually about the delivery, right? About how you are executing, how you are managing different parameters of your project. So it will include your all the different um, knowledge areas, we say. And if we say, as you know that in PMI, we call it as the talent triangle. Okay, as you can see here, the three arms of the talent triangle is 1, 2, and 3, right? These three. So this, what is the three terms or the three hands of the talent triangle? The first one is called people, or the power skill, right? Meaning that our leadership skill, because any project which you deliver requires your leadership skill, right? So you are showing your conflict management skill, you are showing your motivation skill, you are showing your conflict your negotiation skill, you are developing the team, right? Capability building, and then you are doing the team building activities, a collaboration. So all of these are called your power skill. So three components are there, right? Three hands are there in this talent triangle of PMI. The second one is called the process, meaning that how you are going to do it, how you're going to do it. So are you going to follow the predictive approach, are you going to follow the agile approach, how you're going to manage your budget? Because budget is most important part of your project, right? There is a fixed budget, how you're going to utilize it, how we are going to maintain your project timeline, the schedule. If your project timeline is not there, or if you cannot follow your project timeline, then what are the techniques you have? Do you have a technique that to compress the schedule, right? Schedule compression technique. So all those things are the components of this managed schedule or the process. The third component is that many times we'll find out that there are procurements, because you do not either have the resources in house, or you do not want to take the risk, right? So in that case, what do? You outsource to a third party who is working on behalf of you, right? So that is called the procurement management. Then most important thing, that what is in scope of your project or not in scope of your project, meaning that the scope management and the requirements will come within the scope, right? So the managing the requirements and the scope, and as a whole, we have to ensure that there is a governance mechanism, right? Either it is outsourced or it is in house, we need to ensure that there is a governance mechanism. We need to ensure that whatever we have planned initially, right? If we have planned to complete the project in 6 months or 1 year, that has been followed, right? So this is called your process component. This is the second arm of your talent triangle. And the third important part is called your business environment, right? So what are the different things in your organization, what are the different things your in the country, regulatory requirements, right? So all those things are impacting our projects, right? So these are called your business environment. So if you see that in your exam, so 42% of the questions will come from your power skills or the people domain. So 50% of the questions will come from your um, process domain, and remaining 8% of the questions will come from your business environment domain, right? So this is in brief if you are planning for your project management certification, right? And as you know that if you are in any part of your career, right? Either you are starting your career or in the middle part of your career, you are very senior management of your career. So we have the groups where you will not believe that we have people who have like 2 years, 3 years of experience in the project management, and we have people who are now planning to get certification who have like 25, 30 years of the project management experience, and they are also planning to have the certification. They know everything, but the certification will actually give you a boost in the career, right? So this is briefly about the project management. So let me briefly explain about the uh, Lean Six Sigma. Okay, just give me a moment, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so what is Lean Six Sigma? Okay, so as I have explained this to you, that there are two components in that. So Six Sigma focuses on reducing the process variation. as for what is the meaning of the process variation, meaning that, as I have given a simple example, right? If you have a pen, right, it is of say 10 centimeter. If some pens are like 10.2 centimeters, some pens are like 10.1 centimeter, or some pens are like 9.9 centimeter, right? So these variations, so Six Sigma helps us to reduce this kind of variation. So this is I am trying to explain you in very lucid way. Whereas the lean drives out the waste. Waste meaning what? Meaning the non-value added process activities or the procedures, like during the doing the QC checks, doing any repetition of the work. So these things are getting reduced. Okay, so the distinction between the Six Sigma and lean has been blurred over the years, and everybody has started saying lean Six Sigma, right? So whenever you go in the industry, in your organization, you will see that it's the lean Six Sigma. So lean Six Sigma is a fact based, data driven philosophy, right, of the process improvement, that values your defect prevention or the error prevention over the defect detection. So two terms are there which we called as detect prevention and the detect the defect detection, right? The QC process, and to ensure that you do not have a defect in the process, design the quality by design, right? So lean Six Sigma actually helps us to ensure that there are design the quality by the design. So the main there are different type of the Six Sigmas are there, as I have mentioned to you. The one of the most important thing is called your DMAC method. So DMAC method, as you can see from the definition, that there are five different stages of the five phases of the DMAC. So what are these different phases of the DMAC? So we start with defining. What is meaning of the defining? So first off, Six Sigma emphasizes the importance of defining the customer requirements, meaning that what actually is the customer, your end user, is actually trying to get it. So that clarity we need to get, right? As for example, if you have the project management experience, I'm sure you have, and you identify the requirement, right? The what is the requirement of the customer, or the user stories, how we are going to define the user story. So I'm giving you the comparison so that now you can visualize both, right? So now in the lean Six Sigma, the Six Sigma first step is here defining of critical to quality. What is critical quality parameters of your business, right? And then it helps you to develop the charter, meaning that what you are going to do, and then you define the performance standard, right? That what are the standards, what are the quality parameters, and what is your benchmarking, right? So before embarking on any process improvement initiative, it is vital to comprehend that what customers value and expect from the product or services being delivered, right? If we do not understand the business, we will not be able to provide the value, right? That is why it is important to identify CTQ for your DMAC process, right? Meeting these requirements is essential for the customer satisfaction and loyalty. Moving on to the measurement. So next step is your measure, right? What is measure? The Six Sigma requires a deep understanding of the current process, right? Meaning that as is process, we call it as is process, okay? And this starts with SIPOC. What is a SIPOC? SIPOC meaning the workflow, okay? So this is source, this is input, this is your process, output, and the closure. Customer, right? So SIPOC will give you that what you are starting with and where you are ending with, right? So this is called your SIPOC. So as is process should be defined to identify that what is your different activities, what are the steps you are doing, so that you can visualize the process, right? So in this measurement, so we need to have the process map, right? And this is your process map which you are going to create using the SIPOC definition. Okay, so the Six Sigma requires very deep understanding of the process performance, that what you are going to do through the rigorous data collection and the analysis. And this involves quantifying the number of the defects or errors in the process, right? Once you define this, then you have to identify what are the different defects are happening, what you are going to improve, right? Measurement of the system analysis and finalizing the performance measures. What is your parameter? Is it the number of the errors, or it is the number of 100 opportunities, right? Or as for example, if you have a say, if you are preparing a say an email, right? So there can be different type of the approach. So either you can say, see, this email has a defect, so this is a defective email. So this is a defective email, or this is not a defective email, right? Yes or no, or like a binary method, right? Or you can say this email has opportunity of having defects in 100 places. Out of these 100 places, maybe it maybe have 1 in 100 defect or 10 in 100 defect, right? So you can understand that there are different type of the methodology. So you have to define what type of the methodologies you are going to use for the measure. Okay. And once you have this assessment, once you have this information, you will start, you have all this data, what is the baseline data, what is your current error data, then you move to the analyze phase, right? What is analyze phase? The analyze phase digs deeper into the root cause of the defect, right? Or inefficiencies within the process. What is actually causing this defect, right? What is actually causing this variation? What is actually causing these kind of errors, right? And this actually armed with the comprehensive data, organizations can pinpoint the bottlenecks, right? Where, which point, what are the root causes, right? The waste or the variation that impedes the achievement of the desired outcomes, right? By understanding why problem occur, solution can be tailored, right, or to address the specific issue at hand, right? So if you see analyze phase, right, so now you have defining the entitlement, trying to understand the source of the variation and the potential root causes, right? And once you have that, you can move on to the improve phase. What is improve phase? Improve phase is that where interventions are identified, meaning that how we are going to make improvement in your process so that your variations can be reduced, your waste can be reduced, right? So this actually drives a positive change in the process. And implementing the solutions derived from through thorough analysis aims to significantly enhance the overall performance of the process, quality, efficiency of the process, right? Finally, once you identify this, do the pilots, then you go to the control phase. What is the final step of the control? This stage where sustained success is secured by establishing the mechanisms to monitor the performance. So you have already identified the areas of the improvement, you have made some changes, you did the pilot, you see, you saw that there are some improvement areas. Now you determine the process capability, whether the changes you are making is actually improving the process, how the capability is defined, right? And whether how you are ensuring that implementation of the control is going to be measured, right? Some kind of measurement technology, some kind of tools you are going to implement here, right? So these, if you see that these are the steps for your DMAC method, right? And if you see that what, who are the is a whole world or 360-degree of the Lean Six Sigma. So you have to identify the customer, you have to define the value, right? Which value you are planning to bring, which value you are trying to increase, understand the process. This is very important. So you need to understand the business, otherwise you will not be able to identify that what, maybe if we do not understand the process, we, excuse me, we do not understand the business, then what will happen, we may suggest that some critical step may be eliminated from the process, right? So which, to prevent this, you need to have a process map, you need to identify the business process. and then you try to remove the waste. Okay, and then customer needs and pursue the technical excellence. So whatever whatever changes we are bringing up, bringing into the process, that should be sustainable, right? So this is very, very important to stick to the process, make the improvement, and ensure the new process is actually working and delivering the value for the customers. Okay, so moving to that, so as you can see that the next slide shows that different type of the industries. So either you go for manufacturing, service, or transactional industry. So different type of the values can be delivered. So the fast pass yield, meaning that first time right, the safety, the productivity in the manufacturing, change overs. So the different type of the values can be brought into place through the Six Sigma methodologies. And I'll tell you an interesting fact. As you know that American Society for Quality, ASQ, right, which is a very famous organization and provides a different quality control measures, has a given excellent estimation. They provide reported that, and on an average, if you implement the Six Sigma methodology in your projects, then you will be able to save around $290,000 per project. Considering that you have a significantly big project, it's not $100 project, obviously, right? So if you meaning that 20 to 30% of your business cost you can save and improve if you have the Lean Sigma methodology, right? And that is how the Lean Sigma methodology is now becoming a part of the project management professional course as well. Because now the focus in the project management professional in the industry, in every industry, now how the cost cutting will be done, how the improvement, the process efficiencies are done, right? That is how there is a hand in hand relationship between the Lean Six Sigma and the project management professionals certification. So if you see these two certification now side by side, the project management professional certification versus your the Lean Six Sigma certification. So making a choice between the PMP and Six Sigma becomes easier with a better grasp on both the certifications. Due to its industry neutral character, the PMP certification is advised as a good place to start, and it is advised to start the certification right away, right? Because now you might have seen in different industries, different verticals, different domains across the globe, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, a lot of the process improvements have been designed, right? Every company is planning or trying to do some kind of cost enhancement, benefit cost ratio analysis. So they're trying to see that how we can how the project managers can add more value. And on the Lean Six Sigma part, if you see, Lean Six Sigma has a different level: the white level, the white belt, the yellow belt, the green belt, the black belt. So white belt, like, the certification serves as an entry level qualification, right? The basic fundamental comprehension of the Six Sigma principles and the concepts. While yellow belt actually focuses on the Lean Six Sigma concept and the fundamental methods and the different tools, how we are going to use that. Green belt actually is very much useful. So in your organization you might have already seen that there are some initiatives has been taken with the green belt projects, right, which actually where you need to show that the efficiency gain, like 20 to 30% of the efficiency gain. And black belt, you have to show that it's a very big kind of project where you are really adhering and gaining at least 30 to 40% of the cost reduction. And there is a certain dollar value is also many organizations have a certain dollar value defined as part of the black belt project, and you have to do two projects as well for the black belt certification. So these are the two certifications. If you see that, one is the project management professional certification, which requires your 36 months of the project management experience, and you need the bachelor's degree and 35 contact hours of the rigorous training, so which we as the authorized training provider will provide. And also Lean Six Sigma certification, we provide the Lean Six Sigma certification. So both of the certification are will give you a boost to your career. So what is the difference between these two certification? If you see that the what is the project management certification, sorry, just let me go back to the previous slide. Okay. So what is the difference between these two certifications? So the project management certification actually focuses on the project management skills, right? Your leadership skills, how you are going to manage the project, right? The success of the project, your cost, schedule, delivery, scope, how you're going to manage your contractual obligations, right? So all the 360 parameters are actually is going to be utilized for that. On the other hand, if you go to the Lean Six Sigma, then you will see that it is mainly focused on the quality improvement, right? So where, which is also very important for your organization, right? It focuses on the improving the business processes, right? The process map which we have seen, like the SIPOC, how we can ensure that the work which requires say 5 months now, you can remove the waste and it can be done in 3 months, right? So it's a huge kind of cost effectiveness for your organization, and this aims to reduce the defects and the waste in the production and the services. So it cuts down the scrap, it cuts down the cost of the quality, right? And it utilizes the data collection. So it is very much data driven, right? It gives you the data which you as a project manager can use as a tool to show that how much cost you can bring, what the value you can bring on the table, right? So using the DMAC method, as we have discussed, the define, measure, analyze, improve, the control cycle, you can really implement a lot of the effectiveness, lot of the improvement for your ongoing project, ongoing operation, not only for project, even for your operation as well. And these are applicable both the PMP and Lean Six Sigma. If you see the similarities, both are applicable in the different industries and the sectors. So different domains this can be utilized. So how to choose between the PMP versus the Lean Six Sigma, right? So this is dependent on your existing work title, where you want to go. See, as for example, I can give one example with my experience, right? So when I started my career in the industry, I started as a service delivery manager. So obviously as a project manager, and then the service delivery manager, where I was in operation, right? And then at certain point of time I decided that okay, enough of the operation, let's go and build the process, right? Can I work as a Lean Six Sigma, or the Lean Six Sigma black belt, and on the operational excellence, the process excellence, because I know the process, I already manage the project, I already manage the different workflows, so it is easier for me to now improve and understand where is the defects are, right? So at certain point of time you may also decide that today I am working as a project management professionals, I have the project manager or the project director. At certain point of time you may choose that I'll work on the process excellence part, right? Where you need the Lean Six Sigma. So it is your career interest, where you want to see your professional objective, the career goals, right? So where, what is the difference between this PMP and Lean Six Sigma certification? What I have mentioned to you, to summarize, that PMP certification is strongly advised for the people who want to move further their career in the project management domain, right? So who wants to be aspirant on becoming the project managers or the project team leads, the project coordinators, right? And the people who would like to have the quality mindset, who would like to shift, or who can who really likes to make changes, makes impact to the processes, and they would like to see how the calculations, how the statistical process improvements can be done. For them, Lean Six Sigma is a great process, it's a great training, right? So and if you would like to have a project manager who understand the 360-degree of the process, 360-degree of how to improve your project, then both PMP and Lean Six Sigma is both for you, right? So if you see the similarities between the Lean Six Sigma and PMP, both management, project management focus is there in both, right? So where the project management specifically mention about the different type of the project management skills, your water management, waterfall project management, the agile project management, cost parameter, schedule parameter. here the Six Sigma is actually saying that how you can improve your cost, reduce cost, how you can reduce your turnaround time, right? By improving certain, reducing or eliminating certain kind of the waste, right? So those, both of these have a lot of the business advantage, right? So if you would like to be a 360-degree professional, it will be better for you to go for both as a combined one, right? So it depends on what is your career aspiration. So the PMP certification is strongly advised for people who wants to develop further in their career in the project management, or start it may be a starting point for you, right? And while the Lean Six Sigma also gives a kind of crucial role or the development of your mindset, of your process excellence, how you're managing your process, how you're improving your process, right? um, so if you see that both will help you to work, because on one hand you know the process, on one hand you are improving the process, right? So both should work together. So what we suggest, that you go for both, and go for both PMP certification and the Lean Six Sigma certification. So which actually on one hand will give you the better value creation for your organization, on the other hand this will give you that your enhanced career flexibility. So as you know that there are a lot of the I mean the industry difficult time is coming up, so there are recessions on the horizon, the people are, many of the people are laid off. So it is very essential for us that we understand both, we understand how to make changes in the organization, give more impact, at the same time uh, deliver what is the current business need, like the project, right? Deliver the end product, and also suggest something how you can add more value on top of the project, right? So this actually expand your networking opportunities as well. So if you have both Six Sigma and the PMP certification, as well as increase your hiring potential. So if you see the what are the advantage of Lean Six Sigma certification, so there are a lot of the opportunities and the certification. So you see that in any domain you work, right? Either in the IT, either in the manufacturing, either in the oil and gas or automotive industry, any domain, right? So for your career advancement, or improving your knowledge and the skills, or very importantly the higher salary potential, right? So at the end of the day, which that is what matters for all of us, right? So all of these things, like your professional growth, the applicability across the industries, and increasing the efficiency in both way, from not only from the operational view, and in addition to that you have a quality mindset, you have, you are always trying to challenge the status quo, right? Which always says in the PMI PMP, right? You challenge the status quo, you show your servant leadership skill. And if you have with that sharp edge of your Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma understanding, you know how to make the changes in the process, how to get the better benefit, how to get the better cost improvement, how to get the better profit, you are obviously going to be a choice for your promotion, right? So this enhances your leadership skills and strategic thinking, right? So in both way we suggest that go for a combined Lean Six Sigma and the PMP, so that you can be choice of the future, right? So with that I'll give a pause, and I would like to take any questions or any thoughts you have. If you would like to understand anything from my side, please let me know, I'll be happy to take that question. Any question or thoughts? So one of the question is very common and people ask frequently, that which one we should go first, right? Whether the PMP or the Lean Six Sigma, right? So we need to understand that what is your objective, what is your immediate objective, and what is your immediate role, right? So it may be, if you're looking for a better opportunity in your career, then maybe you can decide to go for the combo, right? Where you can develop your sharp skills on the project management, as well as you can enhance your analytical skills. You can add more value in the process. And in the organize, if you see any of the job search portals or LinkedIn, you will see that everywhere there are like process improvements, the process excellence is a must for any of the process. On the other hand, the deliverable of the requirement, implementation of the new technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these are very, very important, right? So with that, we suggest that decide based on your career progression requirement, what skill you want to acquire and at what level you would like to see yourself down the line in the short term, right? So with that, I would like to thank you all for joining. If there are no other questions, I can see. Um, uh, yes, so okay, so there is a question from one of the participant that most of the people prefer to go for the CSM, certified Scrum Master, instead of the PMP, as it is bit easy and more relatable to them. What do you suggest with respect to that? Yeah, very good questions, Sanjali. So one of the thing we need to understand that when we go for the CSM, it actually only gives you the training on the Scrum, certified Scrum methodology, and Scrum is actually one particular brand, right? But the PMP is actually an umbrella. So PMP will train you on the waterfall, it will train you on the hybrid model, and it will train you on the different type of the agile. One of the agile obviously is Scrum. So if you would like to get your 360-degree training, if you would like to be selected for the different type of the roles, not only limit your experience or scope limited to the Scrum, then you should go for the PMP, right? CSM is a very kind of a small compared to I should say that wholeness of the which PMP has, because PMP covers all the different type of the project management, different type of the project management methodologies, whereas CSM is very specific, right? So in that way, I'll suggest always PMP, because it will give you the better career opportunity compared to the CSM. Very good question, Sanjali. Any other question before we um, so very good question, Aravindan. So Aravindan is already a PMP certified and the Six Sigma certified, and currently working as a senior manager at the testing delivery team and managing more than 300 plus testing associates. So what certification do you recommend to me for the next step, as I am both say PMP and the Six Sigma certification? So yeah, so here Aravindan, so if you are both certified, then it's a very good thing. So now I'm sure that if you have that PMP, if you have certified in PMP long back, then you can take our refresher course as well, because the PMP now has included a lot of the agile methodologies, right? So as for example, as one of the participant has mentioned about the CSM, so we have your different type of the agile methodologies which are now part of our PMP certification. So we have that. And if you have not yet completed your Six Sigma in the I don't know what level, so maybe you can. Oh, you got very certification very recently, so congratulations for that. Then maybe Six Sigma you can think about the black belt. So I don't know if you are a black belt or the green belt, or if you have started really working on the different projects, so maybe you can consider to do that. Okay. So very good question, and thank you, Aravindan, for your good question. Okay. So any other questions, any other thoughts before we call it a day? And there are the code which is available to claim the this training. So it is already available in the chat, so you can see that. Um, that was all from my side for the time being. Is there any other question? Okay, so I think it may be really a good time to go for on the recertification of the green belt if you have not done the project, or go for the black belt, Aravindan. So that may be a good idea for you. Okay. Okay. So thank you, and I really look forward. Is any other question? So just give me a moment. So we have a small poll. May I request you to please answer the poll before you leave? Just give me a moment. Uh, I have launched the poll. Please answer the questions. Please answer the questions. Request you all to please answer the questions. There is a small poll for all of you. Guys, please request you all to please answer the question. Okay, so request you all to please answer the questions. So guys, request you all to please answer the questions. So it's a good idea to have your project management. If you have not yet certified in the PMP, maybe you can decide to go for the PMP certification with a defined plan. Because sometimes, always you are busy with multiple deliverables, the business priorities, families, work. So you cannot focus. So it's good to have a confirmed date and plan as a target to target in 2024, right? So this is what will be good idea. So guys, thank you everybody for joining, and this is a very good webinar, and a good questions has been asked. Thank you. So we are going to stop the session now, and thank you. Have a nice evening and the rest of the day to you. Thank you.